Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Yoshi Hugo.
I'm Danky Kang.
Yeah, and welcome to a very spooky episode of Pressing Buttons. For those of you listening in audio, please go watch this on video. You're going to enjoy it. It's our annual, first at least, because it's our first year, it's our annual Halloween episode. So we decided to go all out, as you can see. Don't strike us down, Nintendo, so I won't say the name, but it's Danky Kang
Danky Kang.
and Yoshi Hugo. One thing. That won't get us.
I can't see anything.
Yeah,
So.
this thing. I'm trying to
The costumes are very restricting, but
trying to make eye contact. But I'm proud of ourselves. I didn't know how well this would turn out. I thought it was going to be ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but I'm having fun, and you're having fun.
yeah, I was very surprised by the quality of these costumes.
Yeah.
So I think what was like $80 or something.
Mine was 80.
So they're not cheap, but I thought they would be like the classic, like just licensed absolute garbage thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's still kind of garbage, but it's not as maybe bad as I thought it was going to be.
And then look at these muscles. It's strong, man.
That's natural.
Yeah. And I'm just a dinosaur. I have a backpack too, but it's hard to. I can't make these moves in this costume. I also have a tail, so keep a lookout on Discord and Instagram. Oh, you touching your nipples?
I'm just trying to see what's going on here, dude.
Okay, I thought you were touching your nipples. That was
No,
weird.
I guess that's what it does look like I'm doing, but those aren't my nipples. Those are the gorilla's nipples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek carries nipples. But for those on the Discord and on Instagram and Twitter, there will be more content. We'll take full body shots of these awesome costumes, doing some Nintendo approved poses. But yeah, let's start the show. It's going to be a very light news week, but we got a lot of content and we got some spooky content as well because spooky season. The bones are their money. All right. First off, we're going to start off with the CD Projekt Red announcement that one of the projects they announced a bit ago when they did their little showcase, kind of telling everybody about what they're working on in the future, is that they're doing a Witcher remake. So they're remaking the original Witcher in Unreal Engine 5. They're working with another Polish studio, Fool's Theory, which is kind of made up of a lot of people that worked on the original Witcher game. And I'm kind of excited for this one. I know we discussed it in detail when they did the showcase. And one of the things we talked about was that not a lot of people kind of played the original Witcher because it was, I think, mostly PC. And then The Witcher 2 was on Xbox. And then The Witcher 3 was the one that was in all the consoles available. It even made it to the Switch. So I'm excited for this announcement just because I want to play the original. And it being on Unreal Engine 5, I'm pretty sure it's going to look great, especially because they've been working a lot with Unreal Engine 5 for all the future games that they're doing now. And I'm excited to kind of see what they do in terms of, do they keep it original and just do a shot-for-shot remake, or are they going to do like little different things? So I'm excited for that. What about you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I never played the original. I think it's like just probably not a good game. it was like their first game, and I think they learned a lot. And The Witcher 2 was probably like their first great solid title. So for me, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the original game was like. And yeah, I think it makes sense for them. Like, I think with a lot of these studios, when they're going to migrate to like a new development environment, I think it's going to be pretty. And we're seeing a lot of these, I think, where they're going to do like some sort of remake project because the story is already there, all the characters, the core kind of gameplay, so they can really just spend all their time on like the technology side of things. So yeah, I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
And I think it's a new studio, right? Like it's people they haven't actually published anything under Fool's Theory. Okay.
Yeah. A whole new studio with some devs that worked on the original Witcher. I mean, in all the Witcher games, obviously, because there's not that many studios in Poland, I think. So that's going to be pretty cool. I also think this kind of opens up your mind to see what the other stuff that they're working on, because They did say they're going to be doing a new trilogy. They did say that they were going to be working on more Cyberpunk content. And then, since this being one of the announcements, there was another title that was also in the Witcher universe. So who knows? They might do a remake of The Witcher 2. So they're kind of going all in on The Witcher.
Yeah. I think depending on how this one goes, I could see there being a world that they just basically remake the whole kind of Geralt trilogy, over time. So.
Well, they're also doing the Witcher 3, the Wild Hunt. They're also kind of optimizing it for PS5 and the One X.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing all these, like, I think probably even Witcher 3, but definitely Witcher 2. I think that's like in the appropriate timeline for like being some sort of remake or remaster, just given what we're seeing with like what PlayStation's with the last
and the rumors of Horizon Forbidden Dawn.
Yeah, so I think
Horizon Zero Dawn, not Forbidden Dawn. I'm mixing both of them. But yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a trend of like much more compressed timelines of when a game came out, and it's like being eligible for like a remake. So so if you follow like the PlayStation playbook, then Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 are definitely contenders, but I think that would come after they've done the original Witcher remake.
Well, I think that's the best criteria, like you said, whether it's the timeline, so definitely at least 10 years, I think would be a good timeline, and then also the availability, because I believe it's one of the titles that now a lot of people played, and it didn't really become popular until The Witcher 3. So I think because now you have all those Witcher fans from the Witcher 3 and the show and the anime and all that stuff, that I think it'll be more popular than when it originally came out. So I'm excited for that. All right, so keep doing you, CD Projekt Red. We like it. All right, next thing we want to talk about, Xbox pricing. So Phil Spencer recently talked at a conference for the Wall Street Journal, and he mentioned that the pricing for consoles are probably going to be going up, and also their subscription services and also their games, which is kind of funny because just a couple of weeks ago or months, they were kind of saying that nothing was going up. They were laughing at Sony because Sony raised the prices on their consoles in certain countries because of, obviously, the economy these days is not looking good. But they did talk about that, and Nick has been a big proponent of, Game Pass is going to go up just like all the other subscriptions have been going up. I do think it's kind of weird that they were like, oh, no, we're the good guys in this. We're going to take the high road, and we're going to be operations as normal. And now it's like, we'll wait till the holidays so we don't murder your wallet in the holidays. We'll wait till the holidays are done, and then we'll murder your wallet.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on this?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I'm a proponent of Game Pass prices. Like, I just think it's something that's going to happen. I'm not saying please go up.
All right. That's what I meant. I don't think you're a proponent of the price going up. You're a proponent of saying that the prices will be going up. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. I just think that's inevitable. I mean, you've seen that with every subscription, kind of service out there. So that's just inevitable. Yeah, it is kind of funny, right? Because I think Sony announces a price increase, then I think both Microsoft and Nintendo were like, "Oh, we're not doing that. We're keeping our prices as is." They got like a bit of a press victory, with that, and then even with all this competition review that's happening out of the UK with the Activision Blizzard acquisition. They reaffirmed, they're like, Sony is in a much more competitive position such that they can comfortably raise prices, and nothing will happen to their competitive position. Yeah. And they are unable to do that. So that was a couple weeks ago when they were saying things like that. So yeah, I don't know what to say. They kind of 180'd on this, within the span of a couple weeks. So that's a bit odd. Yeah,
it's going to be definitely interesting because once that price hike hits, if it's not that big of a difference, let's say it's, what is it, $12 a month now?
Game Pass?
Yeah.
It's still $9.99.
Oh, $9.99 a
Right?
month. If it's not that big of a difference where it goes $12 to $15, I think it's fine. But if you're looking at somewhere in the range of like $20 a month, I think people are against it. As you saw also with like YouTube TV or whatever it is, that they also increased the pricing on that. So it is kind of that time in the market where they're bringing the prices up on a lot of things, and it's not good for the consumer. I know it's all business and stuff like that, but um, it's a bit of adverse too, just because the content isn't there. I think right now for Game Pass, with a lot of the delays for a lot of the games, which I think once they do get a catalog of games, especially from like Bethesda Studios, and if they finally acquire Activision Blizzard or all those studios that they acquired, once they start getting the good content, I think it would be justified to kind of bring the price up. So if they do it too early, I think it's gonna give them so much bad PR, because like, why are you increasing the price on the subscription service and you got nothing good coming out of it? Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube Premium. Yeah, they raised the price on me.
Yeah.
$5. It's like, I think it's like an extra $5 a month or
I
something.
think
like
you're
that.
the third person I know that has YouTube Premium. It's not a lot of you guys.
Yeah, I don't like. Why is that? Like, I love it because I get
No ads.
like, I watch a lot of YouTube. I know like a lot of people just use ad blockers or whatever,
Yeah.
but if you consume a lot of like mobile video, like no ads, you get like the offline mode, so you can download stuff and watch it later. So that's like great for flights.
Yeah.
And you also get YouTube Music.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's
Well, I think it all depends on if you do consume a lot of YouTube content. I don't find myself consuming a lot of YouTube content. I do watch YouTube videos, like if I get sent some videos or if I want to look up something real quick. But I think it is in your case, like you said, you download offline stuff so you could watch it on a trip or something like that, and the no ad stuff. But I just don't watch enough to be like, these ads are shitty, and they're only
Okay.
like 5 to 10 seconds.
yeah, it's not like Twitch where you get hit like
Yeah.
8 ads in a row.
Yeah. So, we're not proponents of prices going up. So keep them where they're at. All right. And now because it is spooky season and we are Halloween themed, we want to do a little top 3 spooky games that we've ever played. We're going to do a little back and forth. Do you want to start first with number
Sure.
1 on your list? All right.
Yeah, number 1 on my list is the original Resident Evil. So that might be kind of like maybe it's a boring answer or an obvious one, but I just vividly remember. So I got the game at launch. So like it's original PlayStation. Got that game at launch. I don't know why. Like I think I just thought the box art was cool.
Yeah.
So I was actually showing you like the original box art before we started
Yeah, it
recording.
looked very actiony.
Yeah. So it kind of has this. I think it's like now pretty iconic like box art. So I think that's really the only reason I bought the game. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I just remember playing that game. Like me and my older brother, like playing that a ton. And I think if you've played the original Resident Evil, there's one scene in particular. It's the like hallway dog jump through window jump scare.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So like that was like the first time something like that had ever happened to me, like in a video game. And I remember just like shitting myself. Like, and I was like pretty young, right? I was like a kid when I was playing that. So, and then like I just so obviously like I remember that jump scare like very very vividly.
It's a very iconic one because I believe in the first Resident Evil movie, which is the one that I think it's most closely resembles the video games after they went off the rails with the later ones. I think that is also, if I remember correctly, like they have the dogs included in there where like the dog jumps through a window type thing. So it is very iconic that they.
Yeah, I think they've had a couple callbacks to that moment in movies, and I think maybe even in like later games. Yeah. But I just remember like sitting on the ground in my bedroom playing that on like my 20-something inch CRT TV and pooping myself.
No, I mean for the graphics at that time, that's a big feat to accomplish. But I can definitely see like a lot. I feel like a lot of the older games, especially of that generation that had to do with horror and stuff like that. They did a good job of portraying that for not like having it as advanced graphics as you see these days.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the first games that looked it leveraged a lot of like pre-rendered backgrounds. So because of the way that it like they built the game, I think they were able to make it look like really visually impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, like that specific moment I remember, but I remember just like loving that whole game and spending a ton of time. It's kind of like probably kind of like a confusing game, but for like maybe for like a kid, but I was able to like, figure things out with playing it with my brothers. So yeah, it's up there.
All right.
It's probably my number one.
Well, piggybacking off of your Resident Evil experience, I think for me, out of the Resident Evil, and that's why I put it on this list, Resident Evil 7, just because it changed the genre into first person. Typically, with all Resident Evil, it's either top overhead or over the shoulder third person action. With this one being first person, which a lot of other horror games had done before, but it was the first time that Resident Evil franchise did it. It made it spookier and more frightening. And then especially if, the viewers have played the game, if you haven't, in the first couple hours, you're stuck inside this house with all these fucking crazy people that want to kill you. And your hand gets fucked up or whatever. So it's very high tension where you're just like running around the house and you're memorizing where the shortcuts are so you can get away from these people. And it's just very, very creepy to have just like something right in your face. So I think Resident Evil 7 for me is right up there as one of the spookiest and horrifying, where like I was always like the tension. Oh, are they behind this room? Are they behind this door? Like if I walk into this hallway, they're going to be there, and then I got to think about where I'm going to be running. It gave me some real like Michael Myers Halloween vibes, some real Jason, Freddy vibes when they were scary.
That sounds like the Mr. X mechanic, kind of.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 2, which I hated and stopped playing the game because of it.
Well, because you're scared.
Yeah.
No, but with those, I think it wasn't as frightening for me, especially because I kind of played them back to back, the Remake 2 and Remake of 3. I think because of the first person, it kind of like, that kind of takes the tension away from it, because I could always see the hallway and I could kind of just peek on the corners or stuff like that. And the way that the game is mechanically done, I guess it's like gated, like you do a certain action and then they're going to come through the door or whatever. It didn't really scare me as much. It is frightening just for the tension of them following you, the Nemesis and Mr. X, but it never really was like, oh, these guys are in my face, I'm scared of them. Whereas like with Resident Evil 7 first person, I forget the name of the family, I'll have to look it up, but like that whole family is just like right in your face all the time trying to fuck you up.
Great. And is that your favorite Resident Evil game, or are you just saying that's like the spookiest or scariest?
My favorite is 4.
Okay.
But 4 is very action packed. It does have its moments, but I think it's more action packed than anything. Whereas with 7, it kind of felt like the original, where it's like you don't have a lot of ammo, tension's always high, you're in these cramped spaces, and you're doing it for the first time in first person view, which I enjoyed, especially because I played 7 and then I played 8 recently. So what's next on your list?
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh my God.
Which
That's
you were
which like what's spooky about that?
You're giving me shit. It's like just go. It's Ghost, dude.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
it's
how
Luigi.
more Halloween does it get?
It's Luigi and Mario. It's like if Mario was afraid of the ghost, of the booze when he's in the
they're scary.
Oh, I mean, scary because you gotta look away from them. I mean, because you gotta look at them. When you look at them, they go away, and when you turn around, they come after you. I don't think Luigi's Mansion is that spooky. But give me why you think it's spooky.
I mean, it's not like Resident Evil, but I don't know. How is it not? I just don't get how it's not spooky. Like if something has, if it's got it's like a Ghostbusters game basically.
All right.
Like,
well, I think when I said let's make a spooky list, I thought about like
you're thinking like scary, like
what frightens me,
or like
what's
your heart rate, changes.
And you're like, what has ghosts and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, all right.
I don't know, But yeah, no, Luigi's Mansion, the original one on the GameCube, that was like one of my favorite games on that system. I actually for some reason I like just never got around to playing 2 or 3.
I just played 3. I played 3. Was the only one I played just because I didn't have access to the other ones.
And people love it. Like,
Yeah.
what you?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Spooky, right?
For Mario games, yeah. I mean, for that franchise is spooky. I think it is. No, but you know, it's the thing with it is, especially with like the Mario world and all that stuff. It's spooky, but it's like cute spooky. So I can't be frightened.
I mean, you are wearing a Yoshi costume for Halloween, so it's kind of very hypocritical of you.
It's not a Yoshi costume. It's a Hugo Yoshi costume or Yoshi Hugo. I don't want to get copywritten or whatever. It's a green dinosaur, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, so I could see that. Luigi, I like it. I just don't think it scared me enough.
Okay.
And to me, that's spooky.
Okay.
Which is why the next on my list is Dead by Daylight. I know you've seen me.
Yeah, that's not spooky.
What do you mean that's not spooky? You've seen me play it, and you first of all, you laugh at it because I do get into funny situations in the game, and
you just run around and
fix generators,
like massage a generator so that it starts working again.
For those unfamiliar, Dead by Daylight is this asymmetric game. It's you either play as 4 survivors or you play as the monster, and all you going around doing is fixing generators so you can open the door to escape the monster, which is very unfair. But I think that genre where like you're a helpless person that doesn't have like a gun or a machete or something to fight back, where all you have to do is like survive, I think that ups the tension. So I think that's why I put it on my list of one of the top things. And also, they've done a really good job of supporting the game over the years because they do a lot of collaborations. I know they've done with Halloween collaborations. They've done with Stranger Things collaborations, Evil Dead like they just do a lot of collaborations with a lot of the horror genre with movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And they have their own original monsters too. I know whenever I play with my boys, Kamui and Adi, we always have a good time, and they've gotten a couple videos of me just like talking out of my ass so much and then getting like skewered the next second. So it's a fun game. A lot of definitely tensions high, but spooky stuff.
Would you consider Dragon Ball The Breakers
No,
a spooky game?
that's a survival game. Even though it's the same asymmetric game where you either play as the 4 civilians or you play as one of the Dragon Ball villains like Cell or Boo or Frieza, I think it's more of a survival. Like, I know these guys; they're not spooky to me. They're not hiding in a corner and trying to murder me.
I know these guys. They're trying to murder you.
Well, yeah, but they're trying to murder me up front with their power balls and stuff like that. Okay. Not like jumping out of a corner. Hey,
it's me, Yoshi Hugo.
What's your third game on your list?
So the next one I think is actually more debatable whether it's a spooky game, but
it's very deceptive because when you mentioned this, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. So the game's called Pony Island, and it's like impossible to describe this game, but you basically get
Pony Island.
Yeah, it's like and I played it like a long time ago, so I also like just don't remember much around like how they actually set this thing up. But you start out by like playing this arcade game. It's this like cutesy arcade game, which is called Pony Island. But like the arcade machine is like possessed by the devil, and you get like sucked into the arcade machine, and then you gotta like figure out how to escape from it.
Okay. That sounds like a good concept.
It's a trippy, it's like a real trippy game too. Just like a lot of like wild stuff happens. Without spoiling anything, if you remember like some of the weird stuff that like Kojima would do with like earlier Metal Gear games, where it's like you had to like get the
Psycho Mantis stuff.
Yeah, like the Psycho Mantis. It's like kind of like a lot of that type of stuff, and so it's like a really short game too. So it's only like a couple hours.
What was this on?
PC.
Yeah. Might still be available on Steam.
Yeah, it's on Steam. I think it might be on consoles too. I would need to check that, but yeah, it's only a couple hours, so it's a wild experience. So definitely would recommend that. And I remember playing it, like you're just like creeped out like a lot. So
well, I like those genres where like even the name is deceptive. It's like, oh, Pony Island. I immediately was like, that doesn't sound like a horror game. But I like those type of games, and you see that a lot now, especially with like Five Nights at Freddy's, and I've seen some YouTubers who do like these games where like you're playing like a person looking for their stuffed doll, and the doll turns into monsters. So there's a lot of those like, oh, these cutesy things are trying to kill you, a la Chucky.
What's that, like Doki Doki Literature Club or something like that? Is another one where it's like you're made to believe that it's like a high school dating sim game, but then it like start getting it gets wild.
It gets spooky.
Yeah, it gets spooky.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably my big three.
Okay.
I think.
Well, for me, the last one is Outlast. If you're not familiar with that one, you play as this journalist that goes into like an insane asylum to kind of figure out what's happening, and your only tool is your camcorder. So the whole game, it's like I was saying earlier, when they take like the power away from you of fighting against these guys, it kind of ups the tension and makes it spookier, and you know, you're always running around. In that one, you got like these weird naked. That was the other funny part. Like that's the only part I found funny, because these dudes are just like naked all the time, just stalking you. So you go through the whole insane asylum, through the cells and through the underground and all that stuff, and all you're doing is like with your camera, and then when it's dark, you gotta turn the night vision on and all that stuff, and you gotta make sure you have battery so you can see in the dark. Otherwise, you're fucked. So that was pretty spooky. They did make an Outlast 2. Unfortunately, I didn't play it, and I think they're doing another one called Outlast Trials, if I'm correct. I don't know what that one entails, but I'm guessing it's going to be kind of the same thing. But those are definitely up my wheelhouse in terms of like spookiness, but good games. So I might give them another shot. And I like streaming them just because I think you guys get a rise out of me streaming shit, and every now and then like I'll do a couple jump scares.
Yeah, watching someone play Dead by Daylight is not enjoyable. What was the other? It's the Tango GameWorks game.
Evil Within.
Evil Within, yeah.
That one, I was gonna say honorable mention.
Honorable mention, yeah.
Evil Within.
That was cool to watch you play.
Yeah, it's fun, but there was a couple times, and I think it's on the it's not on my Twitch channel anymore. But when I was playing it and streaming it, there was a couple times where I did jump out of my seat because jump scares, man. They get you every now and then. And that one, that one, like I was saying, it's a lot of action as well, like with the other Resident Evils, but there were legitimate scares in the game, so I thought that was pretty good. Yeah. So, we're always down for these spooky games. Myself more than Nick, I think, because you don't want
anything to do with it. It depends on how you define spooky.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's my goal. I want to see you play like Resident Evil or something like that straight through. Well, not straight through, but just like enough where you're like, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of good ones coming out next year, right? So Resident Evil 4 Remake, I'll probably get that, which would be like the third or fourth time I've bought Resident Evil 4.
We support Resident Evil.
We talked a little bit about Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So they're kind of resurrecting that franchise.
I'm excited to get into that because I never played them as well. Dead Space Remake coming out early.
Yeah, I was going to say
year,
Dead Space
February.
and Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
There should be some.
It's funny because we've discussed like there's a lot of horror games or spooky games or just like that whole genre. It's taken over. There's a lot of games coming out the next couple months or in the next year where it's either a lot of old horror games that are getting remakes or just new horror games that are coming out, which is good. The genre needs more games like that.
I think if you use the word horror, I think when you say spooky, you mean the word horror. Like if you said horror games, then I wouldn't be like Luigi's Mansion. So maybe that's the.
Well, I only said spooky because I like. We both like I Think You Should Leave, and I thought it'd be funny to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. No, I
"It's
get it. I get it.
spooky."
But I think spooky allows for like more of the like cartoonish.
Yeah. All right.
You know.
I can see why you made the mistake.
Hopefully, we'll see what the audience says.
All right. Yeah. If you guys have any spooky, aka horror games that you'd like to shout out, make sure you're on the Discord and just throw them out there in the general chat. We love to hear what other genres, what other games are out there that that you guys think are scary, and we might want to play that, or I might want to play that while Nick watches me stream it. So, be active in the Discord.
Yes, please.
I feel like that was like an Uncle Sam. We want you
In
to
the
be
Discord.
on the Discord. All right. So that kind of does it for the news that we want to talk about. Slow week, but we got some good Halloween content. So I'm glad for that. This is going to be an annual event. I know so it's an annual thing. It's our first year, but we're going to make it an annual event. So I'm happy for this.
It's Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying like us dressing up for the podcast annual event. What other podcasts do you see people dressing up and embracing Halloween end games and costumes at the same time? Not many.
And the risk of their channel getting shut down for wearing Nintendo costumes.
That's right.
That's a high risk, high reward
we might
situation we put ourselves in.
We might have to go into the video editor and just change the colors completely.
Well, Yoshi has multiple colors, so
yeah, that's true. Is there a black Yoshi?
Donkey
or like
Kong.
A magenta Yoshi or like a...
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Damn it.
It's going to be tough.
Again, I'm not Yoshi. I'm Yugoshi.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to move on to some closing thoughts. Slow week for me in terms of playing any video games. I've just been playing a lot of League of Legends. It's the end of the season. The guys are playing it. Destiny's kind of slowed down too because it's the end of the season. They do have their Halloween event, and that kind of didn't turn out so well. There was a lot of issues when the patch released and stuff like that, and we're experiencing the burnout. That's what kind of sucks about seasons in video games, where it's like once you do everything you need to do for that season, the last couple of weeks are kind of like dead and you don't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's funny how I like observe that in the Discord because I can like see when you guys are all playing. There's like a lot more chatter going on, and like that specific channel, and that's like basically completely gone now. So
so we've kind of.
I was gonna ask like, what's going on?
Where's
He's
the
done with this
Destiny
game?
community?
Yeah.
No, we're just hibernating until the next season, which I think it starts in mid-November or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah. So with the League of Legends, new season is going to come out with a lot of changes. So we kind of revert to that. And I've been streaming it. I'm not going to say I've been streaming it because I just did one stream last night just to kind of get my feet back in the streaming thing, which I do for fun just because you guys like to jump in and bullshit and all that stuff. And it's a funny, good time. And then the semifinals for League Worlds is this weekend. Today, T1 plays JDG, so it's a Korean versus a Chinese team, and tomorrow, DRX plays Genji, which are two Korean teams. I'm super excited. I'm gonna watch that later tonight. Hopefully, my money's on T1 to win it all, so I got them winning tonight and Genji winning tomorrow. Hopefully, the games are good, or as good as they were last weekend, which I had a lot of fun watching and stuff like that. And then the last thing is my FOMO, fear of missing out on God of War. I know it's releasing on the 9th. A lot of people have been talking on Twitter that there's a lot of reviewers that have the review of the game, the preview of the game out, which, that's where we want to get to. Sony, where's our fucking God of War game? Yeah.
Give me the code.
Yeah.
Where the code's at?
We're gonna have to be aggressive because we've been too sweet and it's not working. But yeah.
Okay.
So yes, just seeing a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of journalists kind of talking about that they've been playing God of War and how good it is and stuff like that. It's the other major game this year, besides Elden Ring, that I think we look forward to the most. So just one more week, a week and a half, and then we'll be playing it.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
And the impressions seem to be overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
So which is kind of what I was hoping for.
My biggest, I think what I'm trying to see the most is whether it really is just going to be done at 2, or if they're like, wait, there's a third one coming out. So kind of thing
I don't know. I think they've been pretty clear
that they just want to do two.
that they're doing this whole thing in 2 games. Like I don't know why they would.
Yeah, but two. Whoever does 2 games of something, and also like trilogy sells more. I mean, obviously, if they end it well, I'll be happy no matter what. But if they could tell more stories, I'll be happy for that too.
I mean, there's definitely going to be more God of War. I think it's just like this specific like Norse mythology kind of take.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to wrap up the Norse, in 2 games, and then they'll explore something else with God of War. I
Gotcha.
think.
What about you? What you been up to?
Not much. Yeah, it was a pretty slow week for me as well. I did finally get the TV unit
Yeah.
that I've been bitching about for the last 3 months.
It looks amazing.
I mean,
I can see why you waited.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Once it's all set up, I'll take a photo and put it on Discord. But I think it was worth the wait.
It was.
Yeah.
It looks great.
It looks great. But unfortunately, because I'm still like, I just got it and I still got to set it up. So I basically I'm not yet in a position to like actually play anything on it or
watch anything.
Yeah, I was pretty busy this week. Socializing with people,
Being a person.
being a person. Yeah. So it just was a pretty heavy week for doing stuff. So not a ton of game playing. So that'll be my project this weekend, is basically finally getting all this set up and finally relaxing and playing some video games. Yeah, I think so. Maybe in terms of what I'm going to play, and I need something for the next week or so until God of War is here. So I might pick up Modern Warfare 2 that came out on Friday. We had started kind of messing around with Warzone, for the last couple of game nights. So I'm kind of getting back into that, and
That's the farthest genre I would have seen you at as a Call of Duty person.
well, I mean, it looked. I mean, I've always
No, it is
played.
fun. Yeah, it's fun.
I've always played. Those games. Probably the last several versions, I just didn't really get into because I think it kind of got on that like annual release cycle, and I think the games maybe got a little too kind of formulaic for me. But since I've been like so removed from that for many years, and then this one seems to be like a lot of people are really liking it. The game looks unbelievable, so I also just kind of want to get a title to push my gaming PC a bit. So yeah, I think I might be my thing that I check out.
I played Modern Warfare when it came out, and then played a lot of Warzone. Kind of fell off on it just because, other games. And I'm not a big battle royale kind of guy. But I've been hearing good things about the campaign on the new one. A lot of memorable characters, which Call of Duty Modern Warfare always has, and that the Warzone is pretty good. So I'm excited to hear more about it, especially since you guys. It was very funny hearing you guys play Plunder and how bad you guys were at it.
Oh yeah, we're awful. Yeah, no, we're awful. Yeah, I don't play these games because I'm good at them.
Yeah, but that's the good thing about Plunder, that you just go out there. You just keep killing.
Here I go killing again.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's pretty much it. These suits are very hot.
Yeah.
And I would like to
my back is itchy.
no longer be wearing this.
Yeah. But as a last tidbit, make sure you're on Discord. We're gonna take some exclusive pictures. Just some full body pictures for those freaks out there. No, but make sure you're on Discord.
Should we get an OnlyFans?
I think we should. We should definitely do some naughty trademark video game character OnlyFans. But this episode will be coming out on Halloween. So if you guys have any costumes that you guys want to show off, I know the gamer community is very big into dressing up or just doing characters right. Oh my god, this is so itchy. Please upload them on Discord. Keep an eye out on our Twitter and our Instagram. We'll be uploading those pictures, full body costumes. You can finally see my backpack and my tail for those freaks out there again. But yeah,
the tail is chunky.
It's a very chunky tail.
Yeah.
I kind of it's poking my back because I'm sitting. And it's pushing the back of the chair against
there's
my
like a
back.
hole. There's a hole in the back of the chair, so it almost kind of just goes right through the hole.
Oh,
did you not see? Oh, we got to get a photo of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us on the Halloween episode, which we're now making an annual tradition, the Pressing Buttons Halloween special. What's my name again? Oh, I'm Yoshi Hugo.
I'm Danky King. Later.
Bye.